This podcast is to show you the procedures to make frequency distribution. Now, when we have the statistic data, first we want to sort the raw data in ascending order. And then we can find the range. Range means maximum minus minimum. And then we select class, number of classes. Usually, number of classes is between 5 and 15. Then we want to compute class interval or class width. Now, class width is range divided by number of classes. Then round up. In Excel, you can use a function round up parentheses maximum minus minimum divided by number of class, comma 0. 0 because there's no decimal in our example. The next, we determine class boundary or class limits. We decide lower bounds first. Then we decide upper bound. The next, we compute class midpoint. And midpoint is upper bound plus lower bound divided by 2. After we set our upper bound and lower bound for each class, then we can count our observations and assign frequency to each class. Then followed by that, we can compute relative frequency, cumulative frequency, and percentile. Now let's see the example. Now suppose we have example that manufacturers of insulations randomly selects 20 winter days and records the daily high temperature. So here is the data. Now, as what we learned before, we convert those data into numerical data and put it on the Excel. So now here is Excel. So we have the data 12, 13, 17, 21 up to 58. So we have 20 data here. Now first we want to get number class. Suppose number class is 5. Now we want to calculate class width. So now let's use the formula equal round up. R-O-U-N-D up max M-A-X, and then the data minus minimum M-I-N, and then we get data and close, then divide by number of class. Comma, oh no, that's right. Then enter 0 because all data are integer, so we don't want to have decimal for our class width. So now we have class width 10. So next we want to know the lower bound. Our minimum element is 12. So we can start from 10. So 10, then plus class width, you get the lower bound for second class 20, followed by 30, 40, 50. Now after we have lower bound, then we can check upper bound. So upper bound, first class is 19 because 20 minus 1 is 19. And then 19 plus 10 is 29. Then 39, 49, 59. So now we have lower bound and upper bound for each class. The next, we compute the midpoint. So the midpoint is upper bound plus lower bound divided by 2. So we use equal lower bound plus upper bound, then divide by 2. Now we can copy all the formula. So we finished the midpoint. So now we can count our observation. So the data between 19 and 10 to 19, we get 3 data. Between 20 and 29, we get 6 data. Then we have 5 data. Then we get 4 data, and we get 2 data. So now we want to know how sum of frequency, or say how many data points in total. Certainly we know is 20. But here we can use a function equals sum of frequency. So we had 20, that's the sample size. And then the next, we want to compute percent. Percent also called relative frequency. So relative frequency is frequency divided by total frequency. So equal frequency for first class 3 divided by total frequency. Now this Excel skill, we want total frequency as a constant. So we put $sign between H and 10. So in this case, the 20s becomes a constant. So now we can copy the formula. So we have that percent. Now cumulative frequency. Now cumulative frequency, first class is 3, second class is 3 plus 6. So now we can use a function that sum. This is a very tricky function. Sum of H5 to H5. But first H5, we want that be constant. So we put $sign between H and 5. So now we can copy the formula. So now this is our cumulative frequencies. Percentile is also called relative cumulative frequency. So percentile, we use cumulative frequency divided by total frequencies. So here you get equal cumulative frequency divided by total frequency. Again, total frequency is a constant. So we put $sign between H and 10. So now we have the formula, then we just copy and then add the percent. So now we complete whole frequency distribution.